Roger that, Harvinder. See you on the other side.
So, my name is Harvinder Rattan, and I'm the director of Belevedere Recruitment. And Belevedere is a key player in talent acquisition across Poland, and we specialize in helping organizations across the financial services and technology sectors attracting top talent. Our focus is on delivering quality over quantity, supported by advanced AI technology and a personalized approach, which has helped our business to grow, and with many of organizations like yours, and ensuring long-term success. Now, I've got a distinguished panel here today, and I'm really grateful of them being here with me and joining me on the stage. We have Gagan Sabharwal from HSBC. We've got Tomasz, Centre Head of IG Group, and Maja from HR Head at Euroclear. Get that right, I think. So, as Claudia said, we're going to be discussing or diving into how financial services in Poland and global shared services can stay competitive globally, addressing sort of talent shortages and aligning recruitment strategies and evolving business needs. Okay. Right, I want to sort of start with Gagan first, if you don't mind. So Poland has emerged as a global leader in GBS, particularly in financial services, and with over 400,000 people employed across the sector. Poland is now competing directly with India and the Philippines for global domination. But with this rapid growth presents obviously challenges, and most notably the need to align local operations with broader global business strategies. Now, ABSL earlier this year also confirmed financial services is still one of the fastest growing sectors. But with this growth comes with significant challenges, and including aligning local recruitment strategies with global business objectives. And recently, more recently, McKinsey, they said, you know, we have global shortage of skilled professionals, particularly in finance, risk, and IT roles, which adds another layer of complexity. It's critical for companies in Poland financial services sector to develop a global talent acquisition strategy that balances both, as I said, local and global talent pools. So, given that, Gagan, given HSBC's large presence in Poland, how have you adapted your talent acquisition strategy to align with HSBC's global goals, especially in critical areas like yours in finance and risk? And what challenges have you faced in balancing global perspectives with the recruitment of highly skilled local professionals?
So I think a very heavy loaded question. Okay.
You've got 7 minutes.
So I will try to keep it simple. One, I don't like any kind of a comparison because talent is talent, and so I won't say that we are competing with India. So from that perspective, these days organizations are going to every city or country where the talent is available. Okay, so the competition is somewhat there and not there too, so that kind of a thing. Now at HSBC, we have been, I still remember when I came to Poland 10 years back, okay, and I've seen the kind of capabilities over the years we have added in HSBC. We today employ more than 6,500 people in Krakow across various capabilities. And when I joined, it used to be around 1,500 people. So it's, as you said, it's not about the numbers, it's about the specific talent which you need to hire. In the big, even today, we are continue to focus on developing our brand in the market. We work very closely with the university in developing new courses, participating with the universities for the specific skills we need. And those skills we try to get added into the university in their courses. And with that, you are able to add, attract the talent quite early on. Now, the specific talent shortage you are talking about in finance and risk is also due to the result of we work in the financial services, okay, and the regulators are getting very, very demanding on every financial services. And because of that, the roles are increasing in the areas of finance and risk, okay, where we have to report more than what we were reporting before, and you need those specific skills. Now, these are niche skills, and I will say that I haven't seen a role which is coming my way. Those skills do not exist in this market. The skills exist, okay? I will say Poland has still a lot to offer, and we have got lots of skills. What sometimes we lack here is the relevant experience. And that is because of the nature of the market. If you actually go for the relevant experience, people will talk about US, UK, or Hong Kong in the financial services, where you have a global mobile talent available. Okay, and because they have that kind of early exposure on in the financial services, and Poland is now getting there in terms of as those roles are moving our way, we have to meet that demand and so on. And these niche skills sometimes needs to be tapped. Okay, they are not available in the market. So even if we come up with our own internal advert, it's not necessary that people are going to apply when you're looking for some very specific skills. So for that, we kind of rely on external support. So we tie up with company like yours and others in terms of attracting that talent and nudging them. Hey, you're doing good. I know you're comfortable, but here is a new opportunity. Would you like to try on? It's one of the largest bank in the world, and they have such a role to offer you. And that's the other way we try to attract talent. So there are, I will say, we keep all the recruiting channels open, and we are working on that. So far, we have been successful. I do not remember even a single role which I have to give it back because I didn't find the talent. So I've been able to find those talent today.
I suppose at the beginning, what I meant by competing with India and Philippines, and we've talked about in Aspire on many occasions about perhaps the objectives or global objectives headquarters might have and how you align those objectives locally. So the question, probably what I was trying to ask was, when there is a different opinion and you want to compete for those jobs here in Poland, yeah?
So I will be quite open. Let me bring the big elephant into the room. One of the challenge, if you have to say, we see this is with India and Philippines is on the cost. Okay, especially after the war, the inflation has gone up significantly, and I'm sure Maja may add that our cost of talent has increased substantially. But if you actually go for the niche skills, the specific skills, the costs are quite comparable. Okay, there is a marginal difference with India for that matter, and I have not been seeing that as a challenge today. Yes, there are roles which where and that's where you need to keep up the value chain. For the higher value roles, I think the costs are globally quite similar. There will be there will be a range, but they are within the same range. But for the low value roles, location does matter and it does impact. So it's also very important what kind of a value you are adding in your organization, and what kind of an exposure you're giving to the talent also. Because some of these niche talents also look for what is in for them. Okay, unless they get that exposure, they will not join you. So you have to also give them an exposure, and that's also equally important.
Thank you. I just got a question for the audience. I mean, how many of you are facing challenges in fulfilling niche roles, whether it's in IT or finance or risk or data science or data engineering, whatever they are? Just a raise of hands or a nod. How many of you have felt that there has been a challenge? None of you. A few of you, kind of thing. All right. Okay, that's interesting, kind of thing. Thank you, Gagan. I'm going to sort of move on to you, Tomasz. You know, financial services companies operating globally face a unique challenge of managing cross-cultural teams across various geographies. And a recent Motive 2024 report, over 83% of Krakow's IT professionals work for international companies, making cross-cultural collaboration a vital component of success. You know, global teams must navigate time zones, cultural nuances, and varying communication styles to achieve a seamless operation. So, Tomasz, managing global teams is always challenging, especially in the context, as I said, in this industry. Could you share with us some of your best practices, or in IG Group, which you have implemented to foster a more effective communication and collaboration across time zones and cultures?
Sure, thank you, and good afternoon, everybody. So I would like to start maybe a little bit what you have comment on you, but also the session we have heard in the morning about the location strategy and Krakow's point. So I think, first of all, it's important to understand why we want to strengthen the communication between teams who work together but are spread in different locations more geographically. And there is also differences in terms of culture and other elements. So for me, the most important aspect is that on one hand, we see benefits of having diverse teams. On the other hand, and this is, for example, innovation or also some resiliency, which is important in the financial sector. But on the other hand, it's important that I also don't like this that we are competing. So we need to supplement and support each other, and that's kind of the benefit of this. So with that in mind, I would like to share a couple of examples of what we have done in my team. So a little bit of background: I manage 3 centers. The center in Krakow, but also the center in our South Africa in Johannesburg, and a site in India in Bangalore. And obviously there is the physical distance, but also a lot of differences in terms of culture, in terms of time zone, etc. And my approach was to bring those teams together, and I would say on 3 different stages. So one, you need to start with your leadership team, how to bring them together to have a common strategy so they can work together on a common goal. And this is best achieved through face-to-face workshops, some also social events, offsites, etc., where you can have focus time to build the strategy for the future. And then with that, there's buy-in from all the sides. You do not waste effort and time on maybe arguing between each other, but you focus on the goal. And secondly, what is also very important, in regards to the headquarters, my teams represent around 50% of the organization. So we have a significant voice at the strategic level to say, but then only if your communication works and if the communication between the different countries is aligned. So that's why the alignment on the leadership level is so important. On the middle management layer, and I would like to focus more on the talent acquisition here. I think it's important to differentiate those nuances of the markets, and what we have implemented is like a certification for people who are actively recruiting or are participating in interviews. So they are trained on the given market. They know what to say, what are the don'ts, what they can't say or ask. They know also what our package is in terms of our benefits, in terms of our maybe rules, labor laws, etc. And this is very important to train your team, especially if you have people who are interviewing from abroad, to be aligned. So you don't get a mixed message. One person is saying you can stay at home, and the other is saying, yeah, you need to come to the office. As an example. The second thing which I have also introduced is a monthly forum for those leadership teams. The middle manager, all line managers come together for a short call where we have a slot to share the latest updates in terms of what is changing. Are there any news? It can be from an HR perspective, but it could be also from a facility perspective, from a strategic perspective, etc., to have better than support through the line manager in the communication. We have also implemented cultural difference training for those, which I don't think it's very, very innovative, but I think it's important to catch those. And then on the last part on the, let's say, all employee level, what we have done a lot is to organize events which engage people across the globe. So through better understanding the differences but also celebrating some of the cultural events or other events, we know we can better understand what they are doing, what their focus is, etc. And this is a range from social activities. We have days where we do volunteering across different sites with a common topic. You can have some competition. You can have, what was also very successful is a virtual coffee concept. People sign up and then have like a 15-minute chat to talk about each other, what they are doing, etc. And I think this, then if you look at those three layers, they all come together. So you need to have the support from the top, but then also this kind of interaction on the local level and celebration, etc., is also very key.
I mean, IG Group has recently undergone significant transformation, right? And initiatives. So how do you remain aligned locally with the global strategy? You gave an example there, actually, around making sure that everyone gets the same message, right? I mean, practically, how challenging is that?
Well, I think it's no different to any kind of change communication. So it's all about the right change management process. What is key is you need to sit at the table when decisions are made to understand the reason for those decisions, or to have some input in terms of how those are going to be communicated. So I think this is very important. Don't get surprised by something which there's an email from the CEO and nobody knows what it's all about, because they're going to come to you anyway. So it's also in education, we as leaders need to do in our leadership chain to say, this is where I belong, and we need to have that. This is a must-have. So I think that's key. And the second one, it's all about transparency. To share as much as you can, but if you can't, then just say you can't, and don't make things up. That's very important.
I think that's the elephant in the room, isn't it? So just on that perspective, recently EY did a study, and they said that companies that invested in cross-cultural communication and training saw a 20% increase in team productivity, emphasizing what Tomasz just said, the importance of cultural fluency and managing global teams. So I suppose for all of us and running different organizations, it's probably a worthwhile investment. I'm going to sort of move on slightly differently to you, Maja, and it's about technology, and there's lots of conversation here around about AI and automation, and obviously rapidly changing the landscape, and also of talent acquisition within financial services. And Randstad earlier this year said 77% of the global organizations are already using or planning to use AI in recruitment. And the number is expected to grow. So within financial services, AI can help screen candidates more efficiently, but it's important to balance automation with human touch to maintain a very high quality candidate experience. So, as technology continues to reshape recruitment in financial services, how do you strike a balance between using AI and maintaining that personalized approach to candidate engagement? And how do you ensure that recruitment and the retention strategies align with both, again, global objectives with your local workforce needs?
Thank you. So good afternoon. So indeed, AI is everywhere. Like in the past, maybe computer appeared and we had to adjust. At the same with AI. When I'm thinking, and we are thinking in our company in AI, the first question is what kind of issue or what kind of topic it should resolve. If it's a niche profile, the increasing efficiency of sourcing of applications is not the answer, because in the niche profiles we do not have any, or we have a little. If it terms to replace work of expensive talent acquisition specialists, I would say never, because indeed we have those. We can be very well supported by AI in terms of, as you mentioned, increasing efficiency, improving the process. We are living in a culture of constant feedback. So by designing the tools that are providing the feedback on each steps of the recruitment to candidates, it solves our nightmare of the opinion that HR is not back with the feedback. And then by the good organization of our internal databases, talent acquisition tools, by well-defining competences, then AI is very well supportive in helping us sourcing internally, externally, and indeed here we can say about the candidates and our future employees, or our existing employees, we should have better information. But here, there is an also very fundamental decision, how we organize what we want to do, what is our sourcing strategy, how we can organize the data, because the tool can only support us, but we have to know what is behind. If the data are not good, the outcome is not good. So for sure, AI, like with Copilot, I'm a big fan of Copilot and I would like to have it with me. So that's my understanding of AI role in talent acquisition, scheduling interviews, giving these things that can be easily automated. But if it comes to the meeting with candidates, is it with recruiter, is it with the business, we have a lot of those non-tangible things we have to assess, like when we will be speaking and I say that the person should connecting the dots, we know. But how to ask the query even to the AI, what does it mean connecting the dots? I think the answer can be funny at this stage. Of course, the AI is learning, so maybe in the future it improves. So we should keep still this human touch. All of us, we are surrounded by the robots, by chatbots, voice bots, and we don't like it, I think. We don't like it. So we should have this opportunity, because it's just one-time opportunity between the candidate and the business or the HR to create a connection. And then, because people are making a decision based on feelings and intuition, so we shouldn't lose this opportunity if we want to build a stable organization. You mentioned also about retaining, keeping talent. So here also, it's more connected with some universal competences. AI can support us in organizing in a good way, but what we have in our company, and we are still building that, it's a universal competences skill set across all the locations that we believe it's following and helping to implement our business strategy. And I think it's been told here somewhere today, but it's obvious it should be visible and alive during the total employee life cycle. So we should remember that if we assess skill set at the beginning, we have to develop or upskill if we're missing those skills during the employee life cycle. So that's also important. And here I also see the huge role of AI in gathering data, analyzing data, because of course it's done much better than we used to do it in the past. From our small company, we can say that I think more than a year we are using small AI tool in creating inclusive communication towards candidates, because one of our, let's say, very important value is be inclusive company, not only diverse. So that's why our communication is diverse and inclusive, and that's why we are supported by the tool. It works very well. So that's my answer.
I think a lot what you say is backed by, again, McKinsey. They've said if using AI in recruitment, they've seen organization seen 40% faster hiring times, right? But stress, like you said, the need for personal engagement to attract the top-tier candidates in critical sectors in the shared services. So, yes, always, even as we work with organizations to source talent, you know, that human touch is important, I think, right? Has anyone tried implementing AI or any hybrid kind of work models in your recruitment strategy here? And what challenges or successes have you encountered? I suppose it's a question to anyone in the audience that would like to answer it, what they've been doing in their own organizations around AI and recruitment. Anyone here would like to sort of answer that question? No? Okay.
I can take this if you want.
Sure.
So I think maybe two things to add to Maja, because first of all, I see around 100 people here.
Yeah.
So given that maybe the average turnover is between 10 to 15% now, if 15 of you are going to change a job in the next 12 months. So everybody needs to be aware that this is reality now in terms of the recruitment processes, and the people who will have their CVs written in the old way, they will lose in this kind of new way of recruitment, especially if there are a lot of candidates for a role. So I think this is important. One use case I wanted to share, which is very, very nice, is one of the steps in the recruitment is also with those people who are not successful, you need to give them feedback. And AI can help you give the feedback, which they feel it's, you type, I don't know, one word to say, and then they write it can be written in a very nice form, or it can be then used in terms of the translation. So I think this is an example where you let the candidate feel better than and valued. So there are also positive sides, but I think we need to be very careful in terms of this process. It definitely helps automate, but we can't lose this human touch.
Just on your last point there about feedback, and as recruiters, we always try and get feedback from the candidates that were not successful. Not often that we get feedback, but when we do and we relay it onto the candidate, and we try and be more positive than negative, but try and help them to develop their skills for the next time they apply for the role, right? And that's there are things to be learned, there are things that they could do better, but we want to go away giving them feedback most of the time around perhaps the areas that they could improve on for the next time they apply for a similar role. So I think it's really important from a recruiter's perspective when we're working with businesses to sort of get that feedback, and so that that person doesn't get, does apply to the same organization again, but with better skills in the future, kind of thing. So that kind of leads me on to a case study that I probably want to illustrate with everyone here today, and how effective recruitment and employer branding can lead to transformative outcomes, particularly in this industry. We recently worked with a leading bank whose IT department was struggling to keep up pace with rapid technological advancements. And this challenge isn't probably unique, and we've seen it across different businesses. But in this case, you know, they faced hurdles, and they were grappling with issues such as outdated technology, cybersecurity threats, and growing customer demands for digital solutions. But what compounded this was a demoralized IT team, which led to inefficiencies. So we kind of stepped in with a high-touch recruitment strategy, and we knew that the change would have to start with people. And so we dug deep in the bank's culture and requirements to understand the skills and the mindsets they needed in the IT department. We used a carefully curated network of IT professionals within banking and within banking industry experience, and we rigorously vetted candidates, not only on the technical expertise, but also on the ability to fit within the bank's culture, which is a key aspect and often, I think, overlooked for many recruiters. But the results were remarkable, and the newly kind of recruited IT team brought innovation, innovative solutions, and renewed energy, and with a focus on customer centricity. But, you know, the fresh team, as I said, introduced these cutting-edge solutions, driving the bank's resilience in increasing a digital world. The team morale was revived, resulting in enhanced productivity and calibration. There was a stronger IT foundation, which enabled the bank to better engage with customers, improving satisfaction and relationships. I mean, this case study for us, and we've got many on our website, underscores how effective recruitment can be a catalyst for transformation, and not just you know, a single department, but from an entire organization. And when you combine the right talent with a strong employer brand, that impact is very far-reaching. And at Belevedere Recruitment, our focus is kind of delivering quality application, something that Gagan alluded to at the beginning, having worked with HSBC very closely over the last couple of years. And our growth has been delivering better conversations with clients. Our focus is on quality and filtering, with many of our clients having reduced budgets. You know, they don't want more applications, they want best applications. And we do use AI in many ways to kind of filter for that quality, but obviously always having a human touch to it. So this case kind of demonstrates as I said, the importance of branding and targeting recruitment, and where competition for top talent is fierce. So I've got a question to all of you now. What role do you think employer branding plays in your organization's ability to attract and retain talent? So I'll start off with you, Maja, first.
Okay, thank you. Of course, it's a fundamental role because we are growing. So since we opened our second legal entity in Poland, we are in the middle of growth. So we will be growing in the next 2 years for sure. For me, branding is an obvious continuation of the business strategy, but it's obvious. What I'm aware of, that we are also targeting younger and younger generations. So for the younger generation, being authentic and just walk the talk, just be a proof what you are saying about the company is much more crucial than in the past. So if you are positioning ourselves as an ESG company, then we should have the exact number of actions connected with ESG, and to show that it's not just a buzzword. What in our company is quite difficult, we position ourselves as a great place to work, and really we do a lot. I can tell you in a corridor how many things we are doing together with our employees, and remarkable achievements. But it's very difficult because everyone is positioning themselves as a great place to work. We can even and can be awarded. But that's why we are showing. We are creating movies showing our ways of working, organizing, cooperating with the universities to show that this is what we are, and sometimes maybe we can be not the ideal, but we are authentic. And that's for me is a key.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to you, Tomasz.
Well, I think the branding element in terms of how much you need to invest in that pretty much depends on what kind of company you are in terms of your consumer brand. So if I was Coca-Cola, I wouldn't have to invest much in branding because I would be recognized, right? So given that our business is quite a niche business, and even people who have completed economics degrees, etc., don't understand how derivative products work. So it's very important. I would like to give you one example, given this kind of cultural thing, in terms of what we did in our India office. So, and that really boosted our visibility in a large business park we are. And basically, we took the advantage of being one of the sponsors of our English cricket national team. And we leveraged that because cricket is very big in India. And first of all, when there was a match in Bangalore, they were playing another, some kind of a league there. So we invited some of the players to the office. We took some pictures. And now we have a sticker next to our door and a kind of one-to-one height of those players. So everybody is interested in terms of what are those cricket people doing here. And then on the roof terrace, I also installed a cricket simulator. So people can play cricket in their spare time. So I think you need to be authentic. You need to connect it a little bit with your company. And in the past, or even if you go to Google Maps, we are still shown as Instagram India. So we are not Instagram.
Thank you, Tomasz, for that. Last but not least, Gagan.
So I think branding is definitely important, and it does play an important role in attracting talent. Just to let you know, we also did something similar in India with, getting Virat and Anushka, working with us in terms of branding, as well as Priyanka Chopra. So we keep doing that. And in India, we are also big on the retail side of the banking too. So it does kind of help. But what is really important is the level of exposure we give to your talent, okay? And that helps you to retain them. So our attrition rate today in our organization is less than 5%, which is actually also worrisome on the other side, because you're not able to get the new brains in. Sometimes that is also a healthy sign for the organization. But I think branding is important, but not the only thing. It's also about giving exposure to the candidate. How you add value in their life is equally important.
And just prior to our session, just before lunch, they were talking about, we had one young lady on the panel here, and she's saying what would attract her to companies that she would like to join. And I think her number one thing was about environmental ECG kind of policies, not to be branded with an organization that failed those areas that people look for. So, as I said, we find, it's quite competitive, the talent in Poland particularly, and sometimes attracting the Gen Z kind of generation that's where the branding certainly helps.
So ESG is definitely one of the area where everyone needs to invest, and it's going to, you will see lots more roles coming on the ESG side. I know you are saying it more from a branding point of view, but I'm kind of converting into the capability. The ESG is definitely going to be the focus area, especially in Europe in next couple of years.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, I just want to extend my gratitude to you guys. Gagan, can I have a round of applause for Gagan, please? Tomasz and Maja, thank you so much for your contributions today.